active. What's going on, you guys? So this was the breakdown for the Mortal Kombat. Was it restricted? They didn't call it Red Band. They called it a restricted trailer. We're gonna break down pretty much everything, but to give time, I'm gonna let Brandon kind of plug himself and his channel, and then what he thought about this this trailer really quick.
What's up, dude? Appreciate it, Sam. What's going on,
problem.
y'all? So Brandon Troy, Moves and Shakers Unlimited. Thanks for those of you that are watching. I guess right off the bat, there were a couple of things. Well, let me start first. It's cool to have MK back. It's good that we are getting like we're getting a legit circumstance of games being able to have game accurate, moves and fatalities, what have you. As much as don't get me wrong, the first movie holds a special place in my heart because I actually went to the movie theater and saw the film. So I have goosebumps of hearing that song for the first time. When I saw the new line pop up and seeing it in the theater. So with that being said, as I said, that movie's always going to hold a special place. But at the same time, it's also great to actually have an opportunity to see it like legitly in the capacity that I expect from if I'm playing a game. So
yeah.
With that being said, there's some elements that kind of give me pause. In terms of the ensemble. In terms of what they're trying to do with having a character that they've never had in the game, it kind of gives me some deja vu of Resident Evil, which kind of gives me pause of having like a Alice type character, which I understand that you have a character kind of to introduce you into that world, so to speak. But, I'm still going to try to be as objective as possible and try to enjoy as much of it as I can. So, and there were some parts of the trailer that I did see that I did notice. I didn't expect to see Goro in there, so that was cool. Are we getting into spoilers?
No, this is a breakdown as though you've already seen it. Like you hadn't seen it.
It was good to see Goro. It was good to see. We actually saw quite a bit of Reptile. He has kind of an interesting design. He almost looks. Yeah. So like it's slightly different than what I was expecting, but I have to see more of it in context of the film to really get a feel for it. And based on what I'm seeing, it very much looks like, even though we have a character that is original to the film, or I should say to the game universe, I could be wrong, but you have it here live. I'm pretty sure that he'll probably play a larger role than what we think, because I feel like the trailer reveals a lot more than we kind of give it credit for. From the opening credits, where they actually have like a theme based on some of the characters that we know, I feel that the Sub-Zero and the Scorpion thing is going to have a way deeper importance than we're kind of giving it credit for. And I have a feeling that somehow this original character, based on what I saw in the trailer, and I could be wrong, but again, you have it live here first if I'm right about this, that he's tied to Scorpion somehow. Maybe he's a descendant, maybe something along those lines, because they keep in every single instance that he's on in this trailer, they tie him to Scorpion in some type of way, unless it's a misdirect. So,
I definitely do want to comment on that, but I know you got to go. Do you have any other final comments?
Well, from what I saw, like I said, I'm excited to see a lot of the accurate game moves and finishing moves. So I'm willing to give it a shot. Beyond that, I just trying to keep an open mind. But what I've seen is what was good. It was far beyond what I was expecting, because my expectations were really low.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. To comment on that Scorpion moment, there's a moment where he's kind of looking at himself in the mirror right here.
Right.
And he literally, it fades to that. I couldn't get it on the money, but I was like, is he a descendant of Scorpion? Is this Scorpion's like son? I always assumed that this character was going to be like Johnny Cage's son. That's what I always assumed. But somebody told me that Scott Adkins might be Johnny Cage. They just kind of like hiding him in the cut. I kind of felt like somebody like Scott Adkins would have been perfect for a Mortal Kombat movie, like just from his rap sheet. But they never, I guess they never alluded that he was even going to be a part of it ever. But I forget who brought that rumor up. But yeah, I agree with you with the Scorpion thing, that there's something tied to Louis Tran's character. But yeah.
Was Scott Adkins seen on set or something?
Oh, go ahead.
Was Scott Adkins seen on set or anything? Is there something I'm missing there? Or just
no? So there was an interview with one of the actors that is a part of the movie, and he was like, "Man, we really should have Scott Adkins in here to do this role." And then he kind of just left it there, and he didn't say anything. He didn't say whether he was there or not, but he just mentioned him a name out of nowhere in the interview. And it was kind of like, it didn't make sense when he did it. Like he was in the middle of shooting, and he was like talking about Scott Adkins, but I just felt like that would have been perfect casting for somebody like this. I thought that he would have been a perfect Kano, personally. But what can you do? But anywho, all right, Brandon, I appreciate you for coming, dude.
And I was going to say one quick thing before I go. One thing that I felt that was, and again, going back to the theory that I was saying, and if you want to cut to that part of the trailer, a lot of people might have missed it. It was like blink and you miss it, but it appears that, and I guess the character's name is Cole, right? It appears that he is actually in that fight with Sub-Zero and Scorpion at the end.
Yeah, I saw that.
So, like, I don't know if it's a situation where maybe going back to that theory, and again, I apologize because it'll be crazy if I end up being right about this. But
he is down there at the bottom.
Yeah, he's in that fight. So, like, is that telling me that somehow Sub-Zero is kind of like a semi-boss, like underneath? They're trying to like make him like a semi-boss under Shang Tsung, and Scorpion needs his help in order to take him down. So like maybe initially Sub-Zero beats him, and temporarily he's out of the fight. What's his name has to fight him for a minute, and then Scorpion like comes in the end to finish the fight.
I mean, I guess it depends on if this is like the OG Sub-Zero or if this is the brother.
I would say it's the OG, because from what I understand, like from what they said that it was a situation in which they want to show like past battle. So,
well, yeah.
So that means
the cast says B-Han, which is the first Sub-Zero. Yeah, okay. That's what the casting said. But it was interesting because there's a character in there that looks a lot like Noob Sabat, but I'm guessing it must have been Smoke, because Noob Sabat is the first Sub-Zero.
The original. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's interesting.
Yo, that scene right there, fam. That scene right there. This man turned this man's blood into a dagger. It was the coolest thing. Like
I'm sorry for cutting you off, Brandon. That's my bad. I got excited.
Yeah.
No, you're all good, man. But yeah, like that I could picture that as a scenario in terms of an action sequence where like they're really trying to hype up how dangerous I guess Zero is. So they'll have Scorpion fight him initially. He loses temporarily, as I said, and what's his name has to help his ancestor in the fight. Initially, he can't really overpower Sub-Zero, and before like Zero gives the final blow, Scorpion like jumps in at the last minute, and that's what we see at the end.
Yeah.
Brandon, before you go, let me ask you this, because when they cut to the Goro clip and Goro's in the air, at first I thought it looked like he was fighting Cole, but the guy he was fighting looked like he had some weird like armor type stuff on. Did you catch that?
On his back.
Yeah.
I did, yeah. So I don't know if like maybe because they're doing something weird in terms of the design with Kano, where it's not like his entire like plated eye. So maybe that's how they explain how he's able to do the finishing move at the end, because maybe he has some type of extra like mechanical enhancements or something that allows him to fight Reptile at the end with the finishing move that he does.
This don't look like Kano to me.
Yeah.
This looks more like Travis Tran's character or somebody that we ain't seen yet.
Unless it's Cabal.
Or, I'm sorry, Louis Tran. I don't know who the heck this is. Straight up, like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I have no clue who this is. And it's weird because I mean, I was like, well, that ain't Jax, and that definitely ain't. I don't know who this is, and I mean, it could be
anybody because they're hitting a lot of people. Like, I didn't even know Goro was in it, to be honest. So like, and I didn't realize Reptile was going to be in it. So
yeah,
it could be anybody for all we know, and they just have it as a seed that's planted. So
and it could be one of those looky-loos where they make something fake and just slide something in there for the trailer, so it doesn't give away something.
Yeah, because this dude's back is not like even his arms aren't, you know.
But he has a jacket on the whole for most of the time, so maybe it's not visible because he has a jacket on. And then I guess the reason the way he's able to do that finisher move, I'm like, okay, you have to be relatively strong or have some type of augmentation to be able to do that to Reptile. Because I'm picturing that's Reptile that he did that to. So in order for that to happen, maybe he has some augmentation of some type.
Yeah,
it's you see him use the laser eye.
Yeah, he definitely did. But again, this is definitely the same exact sequence. Let me pull it up really quick. Brandon, you can be late for work, bro. Messing with us. It is definitely the same exact sequence as where he's got the heart in his hand. But the weird thing about this, it don't make no sense. Hold on, let me back up just a little bit. Go through. Gosh, dog, who the flip was that just got done? Somebody got ended. They shouldn't have shown
that looked like it was Cole that was doing it.
Whoa, no, who did he just punch right here? Who is Jax punching right now? Yeah, they smart about this.
Because that looks like Cole back there.
Not just that. He's got some kind of dagger on his hand.
Yeah, he does.
Like in his arms, in his hands. Matter of fact, there's a sequence where he's looking right here. I'm like, this looks like the person that Goro is fighting. You feel me?
Yeah, when I first saw this guy right here, my first thought was Baraka.
That's exactly who it looks like, Baraka.
Yeah, but
matter of fact, this has got to be Baraka. I don't know who else it will be.
I don't know. I'm really interested in seeing who. Cole.
He's gone. Okay.
I'm really interested in seeing who Cole is gonna be because when I noticed him in that Scorpion fight, my first thought was, is he like? Are they gonna do something like? He's the embodiment of Scorpion, like Scorpion's like it, like if he's his ancestor, he's like almost like channeling him, almost like something Ghost Rider-esque. I just wasn't sure. Because
it's really weird because the person that's down on the ground looks like somebody from Sub-Zero's clan, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And I'm really interested in seeing what they do with him because I was really shocked when they just went with a brand new protagonist with someone of like that caliber. Because I mean, you know he can fight. Like you've seen him in like Into the Badlands, you've seen him in Wu Assassins, all kinds of stuff. So like, you know he can fight. But and like you said, that flash like that, it's like, what was that?
Yeah, that's definitely your boy, the Last Samurai. That is Scorpion in this.
Yeah,
it's just it's some kind of connection between the two, evidently. But anyway, let's go ahead and just break down this thing now that we're not on a time constraint anymore. We got 30 minutes to do this. All right, so what was it that stuck out for you guys? So first off, Lucas, what's going on, man? You've been really patient. I appreciate it.
What you sipping on, Lucas? What you sipping, man?
Tequila.
Oh, I'm about to leave. Not since my 21st birthday.
I am awesome and here to break down and question things about this trailer and other things that you all brought up immediately brought me back to the Mortal Kombat movie last year, including everything with Scorpion.
Are you talking about the Scorpion's Revenge joint, the animated? Okay, cool.
Which was Warner Brothers' first foray into Mortal Kombat, and a lot of
I love that.
Yeah, oh yeah. I think I reviewed it. I think I gave it a
You did. You gave it a good
7.5 out of 10, something like that. It's definitely not a bad movie, not at all. But I think they are taking some elements from it for this movie, which would make sense to do so.
Yeah.
And that's why I thought from the character of Cole that he was somehow, some way Scorpion's son, because that was a key part of Scorpion's revenge, was Sub-Zero killing his son.
That makes sense. All right, so what's the questions? That's the first question you want to go on?
No. My first question is, why do we get birthmarks of the Mortal Kombat symbol on people's chests? What happened if he was an accountant instead of an MMA fighter and he ends up with that mark? Does that mean he's just naturally go and fight?
I mean, I assumed that they were gonna take the route that they did with the original one, where it's like Liu Kang, regardless if he was training at a monastery or not, like he was destined to be able to do this or whatever. But other thing that I kind of in my head, I don't know if you agree, Keaton, is that they had already had a tournament already that some of the characters that may have already gone through at this point, because the fact that Sonya knows, you know what I'm saying, like, and everybody just kind of keep catching him up, led me to believe that there was a tournament that previously happened that they were in. I don't know, I could be wrong, but from going through it a couple of times, I was led to believe that there was a tournament that happened, not just all the way in the past, but more recent, that some of them had gone through, and he inherited it from whatever came from that. That's what I assume.
Yeah, and they always get backed into the corner with this, because if you've played Mortal Kombat before, you realize it's not much of a tournament. In the setup of Mortal Kombat, you pick somebody, and then you got to fight every single person one by one until you get to the end. And then in the movies, they're just like, no brackets. It's just like, here are our good guys, and here are our bad guys.
Yep.
And they fight them, and then it ends with the protagonist fighting the champion, like Shang Tsung or Shao Kahn, but they never actually do like any kind of actual tournament.
Yep.
And so I'm really interested in seeing what they do with that, because this isn't something where it's like the Mortal Kombat tournament. Here's the NCAA brackets. Liu Kang is our #1 seed. Like, it's never been anything like that. It's like, dude was at a gas station, Scorpion showed up, and they just started fighting. I don't know what to tell you. And honestly, it looks like something similar happens here, because when you see Kano fighting Reptile, there's like pictures on the wall in the background. Like, it looks like it's in like a studio apartment or something. And so I'm not really sure.
Didn't we kind of get something like that from Scorpion's Revenge? Was that Sonya, when Sonya fought Reptile? Where they just took him to a huge island and all the fights happened in multiple places. Again, it wasn't an actual tournament. They fought until like the biggest good guy versus the biggest bad guy. And so again, if that's the setup, no issue at all with that being a setup. I just didn't like you're meant to be here because of your birthmark. For a new character, that's what I should say. For a new character, that seems kind of odd.
Now, Sam brings up a good point though. I don't know what it might have been you, Lucas. One of y'all said that it seems like there's already been a tournament. So I'm wondering, because it was weird to me when there was just no Johnny Cage. I'm wondering if it's one of those things where you find out like Johnny Cage has already been here, done that, gone. And then maybe they might bring him back to life, because no one stays dead in the Mortal Kombat universe. But yeah, I'm really wondering what they're going to do with that.
is it the situation where you just want to save some characters and not shoot your whole load in the first movie?
Honestly, I think that would be a good idea. Although I'm not gonna lie, they're really going all out, and you see a whole bunch of characters. Like there were a few characters in there I didn't think we were gonna see.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think they were gonna have Melina. I didn't think we were gonna see. I had a feeling we were gonna see Goro just because Goro was in the very first game. I figured they're not gonna have Shao Kahn in this one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm like Shao Kahn, Quan Chi, those guys. I feel like they're going to save them for a sequel.
That makes so much more sense now.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that they left out, especially like I don't think the cyborgs are going to be in this. Like Cyrax, Sector, Smoke. I don't think any of the cyborgs are going to be in it. I think that'll be something that happens in a follow-up.
I think you can first isolate it by characters that are known by the general public. Those are the first characters you have to go by. So that's why this trailer really predominantly shows Sub-Zero and Scorpion. Because if you've never watched or played a Mortal Kombat game, you know who those two characters are.
Sure.
Right. So you have to show them Liu Kang. Everybody knows him because he's Bruce Lee. So everyone knows that character. Goro, 4 arms. Perfect. Everybody knows who he is. Like, you got to give the Jax, black man. Everybody knows who he is. Like, you got to give those characters that everyone knows at first. That's the good introduction to whatever you're going to do. That's what made, again, Scorpion's Revenge so good, is that it was characters you knew who they were. Yeah, you sprinkled in a couple of characters that you didn't know, but then they didn't have long parts. Like, they were there to be destroyed.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. In the first Mortal Kombat game, Jax didn't have the metal arms, did he?
In the very first one, no.
Yeah.
It wasn't until like 2 or 3 that he had the metal arms.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I want to show real quick, and I just caught it because when Brandon was here, he was asking about the laser eyes. And I kept on asking myself, why is it that Kano's eyes all jacked up like this, right? So check this out really quick. Let me see if I can pull it up from the actual trailer. Stop presenting. Pull it up. Right here. Now, remember that same exact picture I just showed y'all. Okay, this is the same person. Now, I think that this is mirrored because on the other side, he had like a little satchel. But what I'm thinking is it may be possible that his pendant, it has some kind of like cybernetic thing connected to his eye, or later on, he's going to get a modification. We just haven't seen it yet because his eye looked the same. It's just a scar there. And I think that he might have gotten some kind of modification after the fact. But this seems like this is after.
The scar is like heated though, right? That's what I noticed. The scar was heated in the same way that the laser coming out his eye is heated.
Yeah.
So I just assumed that he can naturally do that.
So I looked at it like when he got in, let me see if I can show you real quick. When he got in this fight right here, it's early on. Where is this damn quick chick? When he gets in his classic fight with Sonya, she scratches him up because he ain't bloody yet. He doesn't have any modifications yet. And she messed him up. See, look, even right here, he doesn't have anything messed up on his eye. You feel me? So I'm gonna play it right there. You can barely see it, but he doesn't have any enhancements yet. And if I went back to the picture that we went to right here, there's a scar there. And then going back to the same exact spot. And that's why I said they edited this very well because it's hard to sit there and be like, oh, okay. And then you see here, this is something completely different.
Is it because
it's just they flipped and mirrored it? Like, I know for a fact this is the other side.
Yeah.
But honestly, I feel like what they're probably going to do is like, because Kano seems really interesting to me because in this trailer, they put him as one of Earth's chosen warriors. When every other time we've seen Kano, Kano's been a villain.
Yeah.
Like every single time. But in the trailer, there's several times where you see him and he's just standing next to like Liu Kang and Sonya and Jax and all that. He's standing next to him. So at some point, I'm wondering if he's going to turn on them and be the Kano that we are
of course
used to.
Of course he's going to turn on.
Because look, that's him right there on the end right there.
Yep.
Yeah, he's right there. And this is Liu Kang. The other thing about Liu Kang is, okay, I'm going to ask y'all a question. This is one of the things, for real, that I had an issue with even making this make any sense. How can you introduce the idea of fatalities and go all out and have it tournament style and expect to continue this as a franchise? Because when somebody's dead, they're dead. Like, I mean, yeah, it's cool. But if, you know, Sonya goes and does her fatality on Melina's not coming back for the sequel. So it's kind of like, how do you...
How many Mortal Kombat characters are they?
Yeah, there's dozens of them. But then on top of that, you got to realize anybody gets brought back in Mortal Kombat. Like literally everyone. Because how many times is Luke, like, not only that, but they've even introduced time travel in Mortal Kombat. Like, if anyone can jump the shark, it's Mortal Kombat when it comes to bringing people.
Yeah, I'm talking about for those consumers that literally just go off of the original. Say they never played a game. God forbid they never played any of the Mortal Kombat games. The only thing they have to go on is just the first and the second movie. And their assumption is, okay, after this person dies in this movie, they're not coming back. It's just going to be a different character.
These going to be red shirts getting hit with fatalities.
That's what I'm saying. Like at some point in this movie, they have to introduce the idea that you can bring somebody back to life. Or better, in my personal opinion, have it that Shang Tsung, after they die, brings them back, but under his control. Because then that you could easily have that work with Sub-Zero.
No, that's too complicated. You kill them and they end, and then you bring in new characters for the next movie.
I don't think they can do that. Because
why can't you? First remember, and I hate to say this because there's a lot of you who love the first Mortal Kombat movie. Most of the people who are going to watch this one have not seen it, won't see it, won't ever see it. So they're not making this movie for people who saw the first Mortal Kombat movie. They could care less about anyone who saw the first Mortal Kombat movie. This movie is for a completely different generation of kids. So go from what Mortal Kombat number are they actually on right now?
So that's part of the problem that I keep going on with Keaton. If this is the second turn, it depends. I have to look at the movie. If this was like the first, and then this movie explains going into a second tournament, then we're better like the second game or the third game.
What happened if it gives you a ninth tournament? And again, I only bring that up because Keenan's seen it because he watched Scorpion's Revenge. That was like the ninth tournament. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they didn't do first tournament of Mortal Kombat. They started
even in the old movies. They talk about how like every few years there's a Mortal Kombat tournament. So they even set it up like you're Earth's next set of warriors.
So don't look at it as
like a Suicide Squad situation. What you're saying?
Don't look at it as a first tournament. That doesn't. The order of the tournament to me doesn't matter. It's about what number are we at the actual Mortal Kombat video game universe that kids would notice.
This is still the first one, then. That's okay.
When I mean by kids, I mean people in that 14 to 21 age group. What number at Mortal Kombat game are they at? And what amount of characters do they know? So if they know 30 characters and you're doing a movie and you're putting 10 in there, guess what? You got 20 more people that you could put in there. And you can never kill the main character. Whoever one you deem, and you'll see it through any movie, which one they deem the main character. And that's the one you don't kill. But everyone else can die.
Well, see, so with the games, they've done something very cool in that it was like Mortal Kombat. They basically they rebuffed it, Lucas. Like they've completely redone it and brought all the main characters back with the help of time travel between the last 3 games, right, Keaton? Between Mortal Kombat 11, Mortal Kombat 10, and then Mortal Kombat. I think that was the one where it kicked off everything. So it's at a point now that, like Keaton said, I mean, time travel was a thing. They literally could recycle anybody and everybody all at the same time. That's one of the benefits of anybody that's playing the new games is that you have a full roster of everybody at the same time.
So that full roster is, Keenan, what's the number would you estimate is that full roster?
Full roster right now, it's hard to say because the Mortal Kombat games have gotten gimmicky and brought in like Rambo and the Predator and RoboCop and all of that. So I would definitely put it in probably in the 40s. But the thing is,
a lot of characters.
Yeah, but at the same time, they're gonna have to keep some of them, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't think they could sell a Mortal Kombat movie without Sub-Zero and Scorpion.
I think you can sell one without Sub-Zero, but you couldn't.
I don't know.
You can sell one without Sub-Zero after the first one.
Man.
You can sell one without Scorpion after the second one.
Every movie cover got to be blue and orange, man. They got to have both of them.
The one character that is almost humanly impossible to do a Mortal Kombat movie without is Liu Kang. I know literally nothing about Mortal Kombat, but you know who I know who is the best character, or to me, the best character of it is Liu Kang. I know Scorpion is the coolest character, but Liu Kang is the best character.
And I feel like there was one game, and it didn't do. I feel like there was one game they did where at the beginning they killed off Liu Kang.
Yeah, it was it 9?
Was it Deception?
Something like that. I just knew that was when I stopped playing Mortal Kombat games. When they killed that dude,
killed him they killed him like at the opening. They killed him at the beginning.
Yeah, I was like, then, screw this.
Yeah, they brought him back as like an evil spirit or something like that.
That's whack. For the movie universe, you keep that character alive. One, if you're going to do progression, Scorpion's character is really only set up if you do it properly for one movie.
So okay, I debate that only because that was why I brought out in the beginning that the OG Sub-Zero, yes, you get rid of him after the first movie, that's fine. But one of the reasons why the cartoon worked so well is because you found out that he had a brother and he wasn't the same as the OG, and it can go a different route with him. He's way more versatile. He's way more, what's the word? Deliverable. Let me see if I can bring him up.
Say this, throw that out and think about it in the form of a movie. In the form of a movie, I don't need a sequel to Sub-Zero. In the form of a movie, in all honesty, because if they give Scorpion a backstory that I believe they will, you do not need him for a sequel. One beautiful part of Scorpion's Revenge is that his backstory is detailed. And you get, in that short time period, enough of that character to be like, I get it why he's no longer here. That's all it is. Because keep in mind, with the first movie, you're setting a trend on what characters the general people will care about moving forward. At that point, it's not about the fans of the video games, because on all honesty, I make a sequel after the first one, the fans of the video game are still going to go see it. Every fan of the video game still want to go see Mortal Kombat 2, no matter how bad that movie was. So you'll still see it. But as a progression, as a film, you're probably thinking, I don't need to keep majority of these characters at all if I'm going to branch this off into a sequel. What I do is I branch it off to a sequel. What I do is branch it off to prequels before this happened to introduce those characters even more to what I was looking for.
So, hey, Keaton, so the one on the left, is that the OG, and the one that's the middle is the younger brother?
Yeah, OG is Bi-Han. He was the first one that like had the beef with Sub-Zero, ended up dying, and I think it was Quan Chi that brought him back as Noob Sabat.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, and then the guy in the middle becomes the next Sub-Zero. Man, they whitewashed living daylights out of them.
Yeah, because Noob Sabat was heavily detailed.
Got Sephiroth over there on the right.
Like Noob Sabat was heavily detailed in the newest Mortal Kombat 11.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, you're right. That's interesting. So even if they do kill him, the way that he could be, okay. So I'm with that. Okay, I'm down with y'all.
And so I think what they will do is most of these good guys are going to come back. I also think there's a bunch of characters that are going to be in it that we didn't know that are going to be red shirts anyway. Like, no one cares about Stryker. If Stryker shows up in this movie and gets his neck snapped, no one will miss him. It's like, okay, fine. All right, bye, Stryker guy.
The cool moment, in other words.
There's plenty of people in there that you can kill off to make it like, oh no, Earth's Warriors, and then keep your rowdy bunch around and maybe kill off one of them to bring them all together, like all movies do.
Yeah, the emotional weight of it.
Right. Like, like they're going to keep him around just so Shao Kahn can bring his hammer down on one of them in the second one.
Yeah, it's true. Like, because they even, wasn't a statue of him? Let me see if I can pull it up really quick.
Yeah, there was definitely a big statue of him. You see him.
Basically, like, kill him all. Basically, like the original, and what we're going to get in the new Suicide Squad, but the original Suicide Squad, the 2017 one, where they killed a character that everybody was like, oh, it's so dope, he's in the movie, and he died in 5 minutes.
Facts.
Did they show Katana at all in the trailer?
Yes. But you can barely catch it. I'll point her out real quick. But yeah, this was a dope shot of Shao Kahn, and he got this huge hammer on his back. So I was wondering, this is Shao Kahn, right?
Yeah, that looks like Shao Kahn.
It's just the hammer that throws me off because there's somebody else that. Anyway, I'm not gonna go down that road. Find her really quick. It was a desert sequence. I know I saw it right about
here.
Yeah,
there you go. Okay.
And like you can barely
wait
notice
a minute.
it.
Go back. That's Melina.
You think so?
Look at the weapons.
Oh, the size. Yeah, it is Melina. So
that's Melina right there.
So they haven't showed her, but they have somebody that is.
That's her. I think.
This real quick. Oh man, y'all got me going deep. I didn't even do this.
Keep in mind, just because they're on the cast list, don't mean they will have a prominent role in the movie.
No. I believe that.
I can put you on the cast list just to try to hint towards whatever their plans are. Because this is the weird part. WB has not been forthright on their plans on exactly where this Mortal Kombat thing is supposed to go for them.
After this,
with the setup, I feel like
this the chick. She's the only one that they haven't stated what her role is, who she is, and I was kind of like, I could see her as Katana, but at the same time, I don't know. But she's the only one as far as the cast that doesn't have like anything revealed, and she wasn't featured in the trailer at all.
Yeah, they're saving. They're saving some. But I feel like Katana has to be, because normally I feel like Katana has to fight Melina because Melina's like a messed up clone of Katana.
Yeah.
Like they took Katana's DNA and crossed it with like whatever Baraka's species is.
Mm-hmm.
Hence the crazy mouth. And
well, here's another question. How many liberties are they going to take away from what you all know as established characters?
That's a good question.
Because again, they just got this license how long ago? 4 years ago?
It might be longer than that because when was the first Mortal Kombat?
When they started doing something with their license.
Yeah, true. Well, and the thing, another thing I thought about with Cole is like, I always wonder if he's gonna take on like a higher mantle. Like, are they gonna do something like make him the next Raiden? Because I've always looked at Raiden like a spirit more than like a person that you sit down next to. And so I always wondered, like, is he gonna be like the next protector of Earth or something like? I'm really interested in seeing what they do with it. I'm also really shocked that they brought in Kung Lao, movie 1.
I feel like that was a lot of people that really wanted that from the OG films, and it kind of like they got shortchanged in their opinion. I think they were just like, okay, well, we're gonna give you all this. We're gonna give you him and Liu Kang together. But it's weird because it doesn't feel like Liu Kang is even the main character of this. Like it feels like he's a side character.
Yeah, and that was weird to me. This should have never happened, right?
I think that's done purposely.
Well, this was 2008. I was trying to find a time stamp. 2008. was when the Mortal Kombat versus DC started. And I think that's when Warner Brothers started kind of doing things with it from a gaming standpoint. But 2011 was when the big reboot happened, and then we got some really dope, Mortal Kombat games ever since. They've been actually tearing up anything that Street Fighter has been trying to do from previous years. Like
Street Fighter's been screwing up since everything post Third Strike. They've been kind of messing up. They kind of came around with 4 by the end, but I feel like Street Fighter peaked at Third Strike. But that's another conversation for another day.
Okay, so they bought it in 2009.
Yeah,
they bought the Mortal Kombat universe, and this is their
you got to get ready to roll, man.
First foray into it. So that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm hip. Yeah. They'll wait. It's all on StreamYard anyway.
I am hyped to see Scorpion's backstory. I'm not gonna lie, I love the cast because when I was like, all right, got my man here, got my man from the raid that we know can fight, but he didn't fare too well in the raid, but he in there. Like saw him. Like I love everything about this cast list. My man that got burned on the pile of money in the Dark Knight, I think he's Shang Tsung, right?
Yeah, he actually is. I was like really thrown off by that, but
yeah, and so I'm oh yeah, that's our boy. Yeah, I love the cast. I love the cast. I didn't think I was gonna like the casting of Jax, but even when I saw that, I'm like, that's not bad. Especially when you saw his arms get iced right at the beginning of that trailer. I was like, yep.
You know what? I didn't even realize that. You know what? This went through so fast that I didn't even realize what happened, and I realized why now it went so fast. So check this out. All right, Jax hits him. You thinking Jax did this, but no. It looks like this is Melina dying. It looks like because the fight. Look at her. So you cut here when he does this, but then after this moment, see, you shows that Sonya is fighting Melina. So Melina's about to take a straight up L. Like it's literally, she's even got the same exact braided hair and everything. And I didn't even notice it. Like they just literally showed us one of the main characters' deaths.
Well, and also the guy that Jax punches, there's an earlier shot where you see Jax looking like he's about to do the head crush fatality.
Oh, yeah.
And so, yeah.
That was dope. I don't know, man. I actually really dug the trailer.
Yeah. I think
it's really
like
fan service.
Werewolves.
Yeah, it was really fan servicey though, because everything with this Sub-Zero and Scorpion fight, to Lucas's point, if you played any of the actual games or you know these two characters, they used every single one of their moves from new generation and old generation. Even the catchphrases, I am Sub-Zero, get over here. But even like I said, these moves right here straight come from the new games.
This was cash. This looked so good. Like I was sold. Like it looks like the raid with superpowers. I was so sold here.
So I'm gonna say this, low key. I really wish the director of the raid would have, helmed this. I think that he would have done something special with it.
I would trust that guy with any martial arts property there is. And it was.
You about to do him in right here? See, I need to figure out like between these two, like what would it take to kill either one of these dudes? Because I mean, from this established universe is the reason why I say that.
Well,
it depends on the liberties they take. It really does depend on the liberties they take.
That's going to be the key part here.
Yeah.
And always remember, the person who's behind this movie loves to take liberties with characters. He's always liked it. And I think he's going to do the same here. And I don't think he likes using the same characters over and over again. He's never been a fan of using the same characters over and over again. So if you go from Warner Brothers deciding to give James complete control of this, and telling him you can do whatever you want to do, because these are mid-budgeted films. These aren't films that's going to cost us a lot of money. We have you on 2 franchises that bring in a lot of money, so we need you to just do whatever you want. This is your playhouse.
I mean, set up bringing people back though.
Like, set up your director, set up because he picked the director who's getting his directorial debut with this. So it's like, hey, do what you want to do here, and whatever happens, happens.
If they bring in Han back in Fast and Furious, they can bring any of these people back. I'm just gonna say that. I'm just gonna say that. If Han's still alive, none of these cats will stay dead. None of them. Not a single one. I won't have it.
hey, but keep in mind, that's not James Wan bringing back Han, though. That's Vin Diesel bringing back Han. If Vin Diesel was a producer of Mortal Kombat, everybody's
have his family. You know.
So what did y'all think about this look of Reptile?
I thought it was stupid. I'm not gonna lie. That's why I said he looks like. Remember those quick flashes of the Lycans in the very first Underworld movie? Yes. That's what he looks like.
Oh, you're even better than me. You remember Super Mario Brothers? And
the Goombas? The Goombas?
Yeah.
But keep in mind, you're also judging it based off of a very short still, so you don't know how that character is going to move in the actual movie.
Right.
And them wanting to give way more of an actual reptile look to him, I'm assuming in the movie he's going to move more like a reptile, which could be cool.
Well, and I'm hoping they do something where he transforms into this and has like his standard green ninja look and then turns into this later.
Like this could have been at the end of a fight where a lot of that stuff is ripped off of him.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you don't see it on him at that point. I had way more issues with Kano looking like a defunct Terminator than I did him looking like a lizard.
He does. Yeah, honestly, as soon as they showed his arm, I'm like, T-800? What's up?
I was waiting. The moment his arm came up, was that dum, 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 dum.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I was expecting. So I had no, again, it's a good, here's the thing. I'm not expecting anything from a Mortal Kombat movie. People come in, people fight, people die. That's it. As long as you don't like give out a drawn out story that's unnecessary, don't give me a huge story about Cole and don't make me attempt to care about him and then have his big moment and he gets to meet his father. And
that's what I'm scared of.
Yeah, I don't want any of that. What made Scorpion's Revenge so good is that, boy, did they just get directly to the shits and say, nope, everybody's going to die here. We're just going to show you killing people left and right because it's a Mortal Kombat movie. You're not expecting any highbrow entertainment here. I just want deaths, in all honesty. That's it. That's all Mortal Kombat is good for.
They're going to adapt. They're going to 100% leave this open for sequels, though. Like, you're going to get some mid-credits and end-credit scenes 100%. Like, that might be why Johnny Cage isn't in this movie. They're going to allude to him, and then at the very end, after one of our main guys dies, they're going to be like, oh, well, we need a replacement. And then Raiden's going to show up on a film set, and it's going to fade to black. Like,
hey, because Johnny is again, Luke Kang, and then it's Johnny Cage. Like, those are
and then in the second movie, it'll be all about Johnny Cage and Sonya getting together and whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And see, now you understand my thinking. So you can kill off people and have no issue with killing them off. You just can't kill off the big people. Anybody who's going to, if you're going to progress a story and progress it naturally and well, you got to kill people off. You have no choice.
And the thing about Sub-Zero and Scorpion is...
Who is he fighting right here? Look at this. Who is that he's fighting?
It looked like Smoke. Because remember, they show Smoke.
No, look at that's oh my gosh.
Cabal?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's his whatchamacallit.
Oh, cool. Good catch.
I didn't even catch it until I was like, because I like all the different CG moments for Sub-Zero, and so I was trying to go back to that, but then I caught this. Interesting. They did a good job of putting everything in here, but cutting everything around.
Almost setting up for Sub-Zero to die in this movie. He comes across as way too big of a bad to survive.
Well, the thing about Sub-Zero is throughout the Mortal Kombat games, there's Sub-Zero, there's his brother, Sub-Zero. They bring in another character, and her name's like Frost, and she has Sub-Zero's powers. Like, as long as that clan exists, there'll be somebody out there with ice powers. So,
yeah, Keaton, you're right.
This guy, that's a red shirt right there. He's about to get it.
He's about to catch a straight up fade.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jimmy Olsen, man. He had to get off of that Supergirl show.
Well, nah, this ain't gonna.
He was tired of being the Guardian.
They could have got a better black man. I'm confused.
So you saying honestly,
that Mike Mortal Kombat Legacy came out with Michael J. White as Jax, he set the bar. I was excited.
Mike Coulter should have been Jax.
Ooh,
that should have been Jax.
Ooh,
hands down.
Oh,
not
man.
Ashtray bitch, not him. I don't know his name, but that's what I know him from.
Oh man, man, I can see it. I can see that really well.
Yeah, Mike would have probably put some heat on that. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. But I don't know what
I think he'll still knock it out though.
So what the heck is going on right here? So yeah, there's definitely somebody that's supplying a lot of technology to help modify these people, because now I'm looking like it looks like Kano. Somebody just shot that at your boy Kung Lao. Interesting.
I think Kung Lao gets really white in this first movie.
And they better not, bro. They shouldn't have introduced him if they're gonna do that.
Oh,
why not?
I'd be pissed.
Why?
Because now this is coming like all this is being. This is like I need to look at this like it's a Suicide Squad movie. Actually, more so.
It literally is called Mortal Kombat.
Liu Kang,
literally called Mortal Kombat.
Sonya, this new guy Cole, Kano, and Kung Lao. You can't just kill the only black person in the Mortal Kombat universe. Jax makes it out.
Kano dies. Kung Lao dies.
Yeah.
Sonya survives because she's needed for Johnny.
She's the only female character.
Liu Kang clearly survives because he's needed for everything.
Yeah.
Cole, because they're giving him way too much of an importance here. So he needs to extend. So yeah, everyone else is
and Raiden.
Yeah, Kung Lao's gonna have a cool scene with his hat. Yeah, and then he's gonna get washed.
Yeah, Raiden don't count. Raiden has come on. You don't kill.
I don't like Raiden's hat though.
You kill Raiden in the last one.
Like he's the only one that doesn't look.
But you want to destroy hat?
Good. I don't care. He just don't. This don't look good. I don't know what the flip this even is. Like this is a. It looks like a cone on his head.
It's probably a historically accurate hat, Sam.
Look, it don't look good. I don't care.
I gotta hop off in a sec, guys.
Oh no, we're good, man. We're gonna stop this now anyway, because this trailer's just doing it on its own. Anyway, y'all got any final thoughts?
I'm super excited for it, just because if anything, we're actually gonna get the blood and gore that you should give to a Mortal Kombat movie. There should never have been a Mortal Kombat movie that was rated PG-13 that ever came out. Ever. Period.
Then how would
same thing? There should have never been a PG-13 Terminator movie. It's called The Terminator. Like, come on, that's dumb. RoboCop 3 shouldn't have been rated PG-13. There's certain properties that aren't going to be good unless they have the R rating. No one remembers the first Alien versus Predator. It was PG-13. It was trash. It has to be.
You said first? It's multiple Alien versus Predators?
Oh yeah, they made an Alien versus Predator like Reckoning or Requiem.
It's two.
Okay, fine. No one remembers the second Alien versus Predator.
It's not worth remembering.
You're right.
And I didn't even look at it. I didn't even look at the new Predator movie.
No one cared about Alien again until they brought Michael Fassbender in it. But Mortal Kombat can't be PG-13. It needs to be R, because the reason that you play it, the reason that anybody played Mortal Kombat is because their parents didn't want them to play it. Like, honestly, like that's why. That's why. Like, I remember going to the skating rink with my church, and they would be like, all right, we're all skating. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to slide over here to this Mortal Kombat trilogy machine real quick and be sinful, and then they're gonna tattle on me, and I don't even care because I'm wiping the floor with these grown folks. Like, Mortal Kombat has to be rated R. And so the moment it opened and I saw it was a red band trailer, it got most of my approval right there. I'm like, even if they muff it, at least I'm gonna get something that actually looks like Mortal Kombat.
Well,
because like, you remember the very first Mortal Kombat movie, and it's like Goro is fighting the poor black man that's Johnny Cage's friend. And Goro has him by 2 arms, and it's like Shang Tsung stands up and says, "Finish him," and I'm like, oh, this is about to be brutal. And then he just pimp slaps him and kills him. And I was like, really?
He didn't even get an honorable death.
How is 8-bit more violent than a live action movie? There's no reason it should be. And so, yeah, I'm excited for it just because it got
the Goomba.
It's time to log off. It's time to log off. I'm excited for it just because it got the R rating.
Wait a minute. Did the Goomba?
Did Sam Bill?
I think the Goomba took Sam out.
Wow. I was like, wait, how are we still on? Like, what?
Yeah, I thought that was a perfect note to end on. So yeah,
no expectations going into it. It is what it is. It's Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, it's a video game movie.
It's best that it is on HBO Max because it has a chance to get a sequel. Because if it was in theaters, it would not get one. So this is its best bet of getting a sequel, is it being on HBO Max.
Yeah. So we'll be back, you guys, for that Space Jam trailer that's coming up.
Damn sure will
in
be
the next few weeks.
And we're gonna talk about
Lord, I forgot about that.
Why LeBron James will never match Michael Jordan, part 2, as we see Space Jam.
Oh Lord.
Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown of the Mortal Kombat trailer. Hope we didn't go all over the place. Hope you guys were entertained. Make sure you leave a like. And if you want to see the trailer, go to the description bar below. Follow us on our social media, and we'll be back later. Peace, guys.